Hey everybody, welcome back to We Moving Back. We are going to call this the current events news edition. So I know when you're staying in the States, a lot of times we don't pay attention to what's going on in the outside world. So that's my aim today, to give you a quick overview of the things that's been going on within the last week and a half. Pretty much after the hurricanes, man. Hurricane Milton and Helene kind of ravaged parts of America. And, people were thinking that's all that happened. But no, man, outside the country, in France, Italy, British Columbia, New Mexico, which is America, and Poland, just all over the place, man. There's been massive flooding going on everywhere. Not to mention Israel bombing the bejesus out of Lebanon and things like that. So, like I said, we'll take about 15, 16 minutes or so, just kind of catch you up to speed on what's going on in the world. And yeah, man, let me know what you think.
The country. The region of Emilia-Romagna has so far been the worst hit, with one person killed after a car was swept away by a flood wave in the town of Pianoro near Bologna. Tuscany's River Elsa and Sicily's River Salso have both burst their banks, and residents in both areas have been advised to avoid non-essential travel. Weather warnings are expected to remain in place until Tuesday. Meanwhile, in central France, severe flooding has caused widespread damage and power outages. Many residents have returned to find their homes destroyed. On Friday, French Prime Minister Michel Barnier said that firefighters and other rescuers have been involved in roughly 2,300 operations so far.
The regions hit by this week's torrential rains are rarely flooded.
Flooded.
Now receding, but residents are still stunned by the amounts of rain that fell in their town and the risks they faced only hours ago. This business owner, his employees and clients were trapped in his store.
Man, it's like a watery grave.
We called for help from a policeman who was outside so he would break the window. We couldn't break it from the inside. When we threw a chain at it, it bounced back. Imagine the anxiety.
I know they were scared.
Rivers burst their banks, roads and railway tracks were covered with muddy water.
Muddy
More
waters.
than 6 months of rain fell in 2 days. On Friday, Prime Minister Michel Barnier called to improve natural disaster management through more EU cooperation.
Y'all listen to this.
We must prepare with climate change
Climate
to
change.
face risks and disasters in all areas more frequently.
Better repent.
The more we prepare ourselves together at the European level, the better it will be for everyone.
Better give us our reparations.
Homes
what I
and
said.
infrastructures were damaged. Insufficient planning led to animals being swept away. The water is now receding. Experts are beginning to assess the damages, with residents and professionals saying they will show solidarity and face the crisis together.
That's rough. Check this out. This France again. Just like the last clip. This another view. Check out how that water running, man. It's crazy. Like a river. Check it out. Look at that. I got that thing moving like a little boat. Current taking them cars. Could you imagine this, man?
6 French departments were placed on red alert due to severe flooding as exceptional rain battered the region, with one area receiving a staggering 630 millimeters, 24.8 inches of rain within just 48 hours, according to the French weather agency Météo France.
That's a lot of rain. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Man, that water got that thing moving like a toy. Look at that, man. Can you imagine? I wonder if they got car insurance and how the insurance working out. What the insurance price is going to be like after this event.
This unprecedented rainfall has caused rivers to overflow, leading to widespread flooding.
Yeah, I
In
don't want to
France,
live next to no
departments
river.
function similarly to British counties or American states, and 6 of them have been severely impacted.
That's rough.
Rivière Francia, San
Whatever he said.
Emergency responders have been working tirelessly to contain the situation. The red alert, France's highest weather warning level, was issued for parts of the southern and southeastern
That's a pizza
regions,
joint.
including Cannes, famous for its annual film festival.
Yeah, ain't no film festival this go around. Yo, check this one out. I wanted y'all to see it, man. So, I can't remember which country this took place in, but I was reading the comments. Everybody was stunned at the architectural greatness, man. Whoever put this house together, they did a phenomenal job, because even though the water went, even though the house went into the water, check it out, man. It stayed intact. That thing rolling down the river with no problem. Proud Mary. Rolling down the river. I mean, look at it. If you was on the second floor, you'd just be rolling down the river straight up. But you still survive. And I cut the footage down. It took a little while longer for all this to develop. But look at that, man. That thing stayed up. Then it sank. Just rolling down the river. So kudos to the builders. Whoever did this one. Y'all did a good job. So this is Poland right here. I was telling you this was in multiple different countries. Italy. So far we done seen France, Poland, Italy. As you see right here, they had to bring out the tractor. I forget what they call this thing. The crane, however you call it, man. Help me out, somebody in the comments, to evacuate this building. So you see the people getting into the bucket to be evacuated to safety. Could imagine the fear they had in their minds going through this. This is like their Katrina moment, a marker in time. From now on, there will always be before and after this event for these people. Like for us, everything is before Katrina, after Katrina. There's no going back. This is your bookmark event. It's crazy, right? British Columbia. Okay, I believe this is India. Looking at the name of that river, that don't look like an American or English name or European name or anything of that nature. So I'm gonna go with India, somewhere in India for my guess. All right, I think this was another spot in Italy, I believe. France, maybe France. Check out how there's somebody in the background walking on one side of the street, and on the other side of the street, the water just flowing, man, like a river. So obviously one side is higher than the other, but it's just crazy. Check that out, man. Check that out. All right, this was a significant event also. There was a radio tower. The helicopter crashed into the radio tower, and people died like instantly. So I can't remember how many people died, but this was a freak accident if I ever seen one. Here we got British Columbia once again. Power outages due to the flooding everywhere. Excuse me. So crazy. And all of this is going, like I said, in the last week and a half. Again, you see the power of water, man. Once that water gets to moving, it goes from calm to just devastating. Cars flooded everywhere. I think I seen some footage. There might be a typhoon in China or somewhere on the east side, if I'm not mistaken, right now, causing havoc. Also, that's not even in my video. That's just something I happened to stumble across today while I was just browsing through the TikTok streets, as they say. But yeah, man. All right. I guess y'all got enough of the flooding. Y'all get the picture. I think I done beat that point into the ground, so to speak. Matter of fact, I think I got one more coming up, just showing you north I say North. New Mexico. This is Roswell, New Mexico. Roswell, I think, is where they had that area 52. Is it 52?
Well, right now, lots of smoke is being seen in the sky over Beirut as Israel launches
Here you
its
go,
latest
Israel.
wave of airstrikes towards the Lebanese capital.
Bombing
Video shows
Lebanon
some
like
large
crazy.
explosions and fire next to Beirut's international airport.
The
The tension
international
is growing
airport.
between the Israeli army and Hezbollah.
Isn't that like a
Hundreds of people
civilian
in
zone?
Beirut left their homes after
Shouldn't that
Israel
be
said
like a
it was preparing attacks
zone
on
that's
sites linked to the financial
immune
operations
to
of Hezbollah? The
war
Israeli Defense Force has been warning about future military operations in this area.
All right, these two poor young ladies trying to escape the bombing. I don't know if you caught the captions. Basically, a little sister got hit by a car, and now she's trying to bring her to this camp to get some treatment or some help. So she's been walking bare feet for a while, and this guy's helping her out. Hopefully these kids don't get trafficked or anything crazy. Prayers up for him. That's love right there. I wish him the best. Salam is peace. This is in Kenya. This is a building collapse. Crazy, crazy, crazy. My understanding is the building hadn't even been up a year yet at the time of this collapse. Looks like 9/11 all over again. Rubble everywhere. Pole is sorry in Kiswahili.
A rescue mission is underway after a 7-story building collapsed in Kahawa West, Nairobi on Sunday morning. Now, authorities are searching for a woman and her child who are still unaccounted for following the tragic incident. As our reporter Vera Mora details, the collapse of the Kahawa West building has sparked questions about Nairobi's construction standards and approval processes, as the building had been occupied for less than a month before the disaster.
Sunday morning, as the rest of the country marked Mashujaa Day, residents of Kahawa West were counting losses as a 7-story building in their neighborhood along Station Road caved in. The building, declared unfit for occupancy just a week earlier, had shown visible cracks that led to the warnings from local officials. Yet, some residents hoping to salvage their belongings returned to the building on Sunday morning. Unfortunately, disaster struck during their return. One resident witnessed the building collapse at around 11 a.m.
Changing gears, let's get into Cuba.
The entire island of Cuba this morning, with about 10 million people without electricity and no estimate yet for when it's going to be restored. Cuban officials said the country's largest power plant failed on Friday morning, causing the entire grid to collapse. Even before this massive blackout, Cuba closed schools and told government workers to stay at home on Friday to conserve energy there. Cuba's president has blamed the frequent outages on aging infrastructure and increased...
America's infrastructure is bad too.
People in Cuba have spent days without power. So why is it so difficult to get the lights back on here? Well, it goes to the fact that the Cuban government's power plants are ancient.
Ours
like
are too.
Old cars here. They have been jerry-rigged over
Jerry-rigged.
The Cuban government blames it on
we say something different.
economic sanctions, but admits they haven't invested much in them over
Look, y'all, that's why you need your solar panels, your batteries, your solar generators, your battery generators.
And that means their food.
You gotta prepare. Always prepare.
Having to sleep outside in the swelter and the heat. You don't get water in Cuba when the power is out, and that makes life very uncomfortable here. People are getting angrier and angrier. They're taking to the streets with pots and pans, beating them to call for the government to get the power back on as soon as possible. Cuban officials like Cuba's President Miguel Diaz-Canel says they're doing everything they can, but they're warning protesters not to protest, that they could face lengthy prison sentences.
Oh man, they're gonna put you in jail for protesting. And then you got Elon Musk unveiling the new slaves. They always trying to make a slave out of something, man. Something or somebody. Yeah, let's get somebody else to do some work. Then the robots gonna rise up, want their reparations. Talking about they done been forced to work too many hours, inhumane treatment. You know them sickos got other plans for these robots, but we'll keep it
The
PG.
Optimus robots will walk among you.
I don't trust it. Y'all ever seen iRobot?
Please be nice to the Optimus robots.
Now go check it out. That was a good movie. I don't trust AI. Terminator. Y'all know Terminator? Alright, y'all. So that's just a couple things, man. Just keep me your abreast. Let me know if you believe there's climate change, if you believe it's global warming, or if you believe it's judgment starting to be unveiled and unleashed, the birth pains coming through. Matthew 24, playing out in front of our eyes. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. Again, thanks for coming through. Thanks for watching. Leave me a like, a comment, subscribe, all that good stuff that people always say. Yeah, man. Thanks for watching again. Share this thing. Like this thing. Yeah. This is We Moving Back. I'm your brother Mark. Catch you on the next video. Peace.